U.S. jobless claims fall to 326,000, first drop in 4 weeks. Before COVID-19 hammered the U.S. economy in March 2020, weekly claims were consistently coming in at around 220,000. So we're getting closer to pre-pandemic jobless claims, which is good. That's awesome. Ding ding, right? It does not mean that we're out of the water yet. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell last week, another sign that the U.S. job market and economy continued their steady recovery from last year's coronavirus recession. Unemployment claims fell by 38,000 to 326,000, the first drop in 4 weeks. Labor Department said on Thursday, since surpassing 900,000 in early January, the weekly applications, a proxy for layoffs, had fallen more or less steadily all year. Still, they remain elevated from pre-pandemic levels before COVID-19 hammered the U.S. economy in March 2020. After hitting a pandemic low of 312,000 in early September, claims had risen 3 weeks straight, suggesting that the highly contagious Delta variant was at least temporarily disrupting a recovery in jobs. Contingent macro advisors said that the recent uptick was also partly caused by backlog in processing orders in California and other states. Shutdowns at auto plants resulting from a shortage of computer chips could make the numbers volatile over the next few weeks. And Contingent said, but the trend towards lower jobless claims remain intact. Yeah, so I mean that's one of the other things is it's not just about businesses that don't have customers. It's about businesses that don't have access to the supply chain, that don't have, if you're struggling with being able to keep things on the shelf, like you don't need the people there. I think that depending on where you are in your business, it's really important that you try to keep as many people as possible so you don't end up with the rubber banding effect of like, okay, now we need a whole bunch of people. And like everybody moved on. Everybody went somewhere else. Everybody said, you know what? I'm going to take this as an opportunity to go and start my own business. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to go and work in a new industry, to take control of my future and get retrained in something that has a bigger and brighter future for myself and for my family. Dealing with these supply chain issues is tough, and there's sometimes there's not a lot of profit margin there, which we'll get to a story about GM increasing their profit margin in the next 8 years. But I firmly believe that if you have a trained set of people, you need to do everything you can do to keep them, because if you just let them go, they're trained and they could do it for somebody else, or they're smart enough, they're focused enough to go and train themselves to go do something else. And that's what you don't want, because when you need them to come back, they won't be there for you. As we've gone, just 20, 30 years ago, where it's like, hey, it's not that uncommon to say, I work for one company for the entirety of my career, or maybe two companies for the entirety of my career, to now just, 30 years later, hey, if you work 2 years, they say, if I don't know all the statistics to back all that up, but the statistics, from what I've read is like, if you work for a company for more than 2 years, you are actively losing money. You are actively losing money from by not jumping ship to escalate yourself on the job ladder, right, as a whole, not just the corporate ladder of the singular company that you're working for. So, I hope that this is a good sign of things to come, and that we continue to have those jobless claims fall, especially as we have such a huge pot of businesses that are looking for work, for workers right now at escalated wages. So but it's also hard to find a good fit, right? Just because you're out of work doesn't mean that you're going to go and work in an Amazon warehouse. I mean, you will if you absolutely need to, but if you are already in a somewhat special, if you're a dental assistant, are you going to go and work in an Amazon warehouse? I don't know. I mean, I spent money and time in becoming a dental assistant, right? Maybe I'm working towards becoming my own dentist. a dentist, a dentist in general. So I kind of think that it's about finding the right mix of people at the same time, and that's why it's so important that you try to find ways to keep the people that you have around you.